The Quarantine. The massive alien vessel descended through Earth's atmosphere with elegant precision, its iridescent hull gleaming in the morning sunlight as it settled onto the designated landing zone in Geneva. Captain Maya Chen stood at attention among the welcoming committee, her spine rigid despite the excitement coursing through her veins. After decades of searching the stars, humanity had finally made contact with intelligent extraterrestrial life, and they had come to Earth. "Remember protocol," General Hammond whispered beside her. "No sudden movements. No unauthorized questions." Maya nodded slightly, her eyes fixed on the ship as a seam appeared in its seamless surface, widening into a doorway. The gathered diplomats, scientists, and military personnel collectively held their breath. The aliens that emerged were nothing like the little green men of old science fiction. The three lead representatives stood nearly 7 feet tall with slender limbs that moved with unsettling grace. Their skin shimmered with a blue-violet hue that seemed to shift with each movement. Behind them came 4 shorter beings with varying appearances, representatives from other species, Maya realized. The Galactic Coalition had arrived. United Earth President Kwan stepped forward. "On behalf of humanity, we welcome you to Earth." The tallest alien inclined its elongated head. When it spoke, its voice was melodic yet somehow mechanical. "I am Ambassador Xilith of the Turva. We speak for the Galactic Coalition of Sentient Species. We have observed your world for some time and have deemed you ready for preliminary contact." The meeting that followed in the United Nations Assembly Hall was broadcast to every corner of Earth. Billions watched as the coalition representatives described a galaxy teeming with diverse life, unified under principles of cooperation and mutual advancement. But when President Kwan inquired about Earth joining this interstellar community, Ambassador Xilith's demeanor subtly changed. "Earth will be granted protectorate status," the ambassador announced. "This is standard procedure for newly contacted species. You will be permitted limited trade and knowledge exchange, but must remain within your solar system until you have achieved sufficient societal and biological stability." "And how long might that take?" President Kwan asked, a hint of tension in her voice. "That depends entirely on your development," answered a shorter reptilian alien. "For most species, the quarantine period lasts between 3 to 5 of your centuries." The word hung in the air. Quarantine. Not membership. Not partnership. Quarantine. Maya watched the proceedings with growing unease. Her position as head of Earth's Deep Space Reconnaissance Division had granted her this front-row seat to history, but something about the Coalition's presentation felt rehearsed, almost artificial. Their technological offerings seemed deliberately limited, their explanations vague. 3 weeks after first contact, the Coalition established an outpost on Mars to oversee Earth's transition and provide guidance. Surveillance satellites were positioned at the edge of the solar system, ostensibly to protect Earth from unauthorized visitors. Maya sat in her underground office at DSR headquarters, reviewing the data for the 100th time. The Coalition's technology was indeed advanced. Their faster-than-light travel alone was beyond humanity's current capabilities, but their reluctance to share meaningful knowledge was becoming frustrating. A knock at her door interrupted her thoughts. Dr. Sanjay Desai, the division's lead xenobiologist, entered with an excited gleam in his eyes. "I need to show you something," he said, placing a tablet on her desk. "The Coalition representatives gave us access to their basic medical database as a gesture of goodwill, remember?" Maya nodded. "Find something interesting?" "More like what I didn't find," Sanjay replied. "Look at these comparative physiological scans. They provided data on 17 different Coalition species, but there's a pattern in how their neural systems function. They're all remarkably similar despite their physical differences. And that's unusual. It's statistically impossible unless..." Sanjay hesitated. "Unless they're selectively showing us species with similar traits." I cross-referenced with our scans from the welcoming ceremony. There are subtle differences in the Coalition representatives that our sensors detected but their database doesn't account for. Maya leaned forward. They're hiding something about their biology. Or about ours. Sanjay pulled up another file. This is a comparison between standard human neural mapping and the coalition norm. We're outliers, Maya. Our neural plasticity, connection formation, and processing capabilities don't fit their patterns. Maya stared at the comparative graphs. The implications were enormous. They're not protecting us, she said slowly. They're containing us. Over the next month, Maya assembled a small, trusted team. General Hammond provided military security. Dr. Desai brought in neuroscientist Dr. Elena Ivanova. Computer specialist Lucas Wong completed the core group. Their mission, authorized in secret by President Kwan herself, discover the real reason for Earth's quarantine. The coalition outpost on Mars is too heavily monitored, Maya told her team during their first meeting in a secure underground facility. But we've detected regular transmissions to a location beyond Neptune's orbit, something not mentioned in any official communications. A hidden outpost, Hammond suggested. That's our theory, Maya confirmed. And we're going to find out what they're doing there. The experimental stealth ship Explorer slipped past the Mars outpost under cover of a scheduled supply delivery. Small, fast, and incorporating what little coalition technology Earth had managed to reverse engineer, it carried Maya's team toward the outer reaches of the solar system. Approaching Neptune, Lucas announced from the pilot's seat, sensors detecting unusual energy signatures from the Kuiper belt. On the view screen, a small asteroid came into focus. Embedded in its surface was a structure clearly not of human design. No coalition markings, observed Hammond. Different architecture from their other vessels, too. Maya made her decision. Take us in closer. Passive scans only. As they approached, Elena suddenly clutched her head, gasping in pain. What's wrong? Maya moved to her side. I don't know, Elena whispered, like a pressure in my mind. But it's fading now. Lucas pointed to the console. Energy spike when we came within 10,000 kilometers. It's like something scanned us, or her specifically. Pull back, Maya ordered. Circle the asteroid but maintain distance. After a complete orbit, they discovered an ancient airlock built into the asteroid's surface. It appeared inactive, possibly for centuries. I think we should dock, Elena said unexpectedly. Everyone turned to her. You were just in pain from some kind of scan, and now you want to go inside? Hammond asked skeptically. It wasn't pain exactly, Elena explained. More like recognition. Something there knows we're human. Against her better judgment, Maya authorized the docking procedure. The team donned environmental suits as the Explorer established an airtight seal with the mysterious structure. The airlock cycled open without any input from their side. It's inviting us in, Lucas murmured. The interior was dark and dusty, clearly abandoned long ago. But as they moved deeper inside, lights began to activate along the walls. Not the cool blue of coalition technology, but a warm amber glow. This place is ancient, Sanjay said, examining markings on the walls. These symbols don't match any coalition language we've been shown. They reached a central chamber where a pedestal stood in the middle. As Elena approached it, the entire room hummed to life. Holographic displays appeared, showing star maps and diagrams of DNA strands. I can understand this, Elena said in wonder. Not the symbols, but somehow I know what it's saying. This facility was built by a species called the Precursors. They seeded life throughout the galaxy over 1 million years ago. How can you possibly know that? Hammond demanded. It's speaking directly to my mind, Elena replied. The Precursors designed certain neural patterns into their descendants, patterns that would allow access to their technology. Humanity has those patterns. The coalition species don't. Maya watched as Elena placed her hand on the pedestal. More displays appeared, showing comparison charts between human neural structures and those of various alien species. The quarantine isn't because we're behind, Maya realized. It's because they're afraid of what we might become. Exactly, Elena confirmed. According to this, humans are the first species in over 50,000 years to develop the neural architecture compatible with precursor technology. The Coalition found this facility decades ago, but couldn't activate it. They've been studying it, trying to understand why their minds can't connect while ours can. Lucas, who had been exploring a secondary console, called out excitedly, "I think I found something. This facility isn't isolated. It's connected to a network of similar installations throughout the galaxy, all dormant, all waiting for the right neural pattern to activate them. And the Coalition knows this," Hammond said grimly. "That's why they're so determined to keep us confined to our solar system." Maya stared at the galactic map displayed before them. Thousands of points of light representing precursor facilities scattered across the stars. Earth's quarantine wasn't about protection or development. It was about fear. The established galactic powers feared what humanity might become if they gained access to the legacy of their ancient forerunners. "We need to get this information back to Earth," Maya decided, "and we need to prepare our response." As they moved to leave, Alina hesitated by the pedestal. "There's more," she said softly. "Instructions on how to activate the entire network simultaneously. A way to announce our presence to every corner of the galaxy at once." "Download everything," Maya ordered. "Earth needs to know what we're really dealing with." As Explorer detached from the ancient facility and began its journey home, Maya gazed out at the stars with new understanding. The Coalition had tried to contain humanity, to prevent them from discovering their true potential. But they were already too late. On Earth, preparations would soon begin. The galaxy had excluded humanity from its community out of fear. It was time to show them exactly why they were right to be afraid. The Declaration. The secure conference room beneath Geneva was silent as Maya Chen finished her presentation. The holographic display showed the ancient precursor facility they had discovered, along with the data they had retrieved about humanity's unique neural architecture. President Quan looked grave. "You're certain about this? The Coalition quarantined Earth because they fear our potential connection to this extinct species." "The evidence is conclusive," Maya replied. "Dr. Ivanova has been able to interface with the precursor technology in ways no Coalition species can, and according to the facility's records, there are thousands more installations across the galaxy, all potentially responsive to human neural patterns." Admiral Harris, head of Earth's Unified Defense Forces, leaned forward. "So what's our next move? We can't exactly break quarantine with our current technology. Their monitoring stations would detect any attempt to leave the system." "We don't need to leave," Alina Ivanova interjected. She had been quiet throughout much of the meeting, still processing her connection with the ancient technology. The facility contained instructions for activating what the precursors called the Beacon Network. "If we can access just one more installation with greater capabilities than the asteroid outpost, we could potentially broadcast to every precursor facility simultaneously and announce our discovery to the entire galaxy," Hammond concluded. "The Coalition would be forced to acknowledge us." Lucas Wong, who had been analyzing the star charts, pointed to a blinking dot near Saturn. "There's another precursor outpost here, hidden in the rings of Saturn. According to the data, it's a communication hub, far more powerful than the asteroid facility." "The Coalition doesn't know about it," Sanjay added. "Their surveillance has focused on the outer system boundary and Mars. Saturn has been largely ignored." President Quan stood and walked to the window overlooking Lake Geneva, where the Coalition embassy vessel floated serenely above the water. When she turned back, her expression was determined. "Prepare a mission to Saturn," she ordered. "But we'll need a distraction. The Coalition can't suspect what we've discovered." 3 weeks later, as Earth prepared an elaborate ceremony to mark 50 days of galactic friendship, the Explorer I slipped away from a hidden lunar base, carrying Maya's team toward Saturn. Coalition vessels still focused on the Mars outpost and Earth, Lucas reported as they passed Jupiter's orbit. "No sign we've been detected." The journey to Saturn took 5 days. As they approached the majestic ringed planet, Elena directed them to a specific segment of the outer ring. There, she pointed to a cluster of ice and rock fragments. The facility is hidden within that debris field. As they drew closer, a massive chunk of ice shifted, revealing the seamless metallic structure embedded within the ring fragments. Unlike the asteroid outpost, this facility appeared to be in pristine condition, its surface unmarked by the millennia it had spent hiding in Saturn's rings. "It's beautiful," Maya whispered as they docked with an airlock that opened at their approach. Inside, the facility was illuminated with the same warm amber light they had encountered before. But this installation was far larger and more complex. The central chamber contained a network of pedestals surrounding a hovering crystalline sphere. Elena approached without hesitation, placing her hands on the nearest pedestal. The sphere began to glow, projecting a three-dimensional map of the galaxy with thousands of points of light. "The beacon network," she breathed. "Each light is a precursor installation. They're everywhere, even in Coalition core worlds." "Can you activate it?" Maya asked. "Yes, but—" Elena hesitated. "There's something else. A presence in the system. Not precursor, not exactly. More like an echo, a safeguard." As she spoke, a figure materialized beside the sphere, a translucent humanoid form composed of light. "Neural pattern recognized," it said in a voice that seemed to bypass their ears and speak directly to their minds. "Awaken detected. Protocol inheritance now active." "What are you?" Maya asked, stepping forward. "I am Sentinel," the figure replied, "custodian of the precursor legacy. You are the first awakened to access this facility in 52,683 standard years." "Awakened," Sanjay repeated. "Species with neural architecture capable of interfacing with precursor technology," Sentinel explained. "The precursors seeded such potential throughout the galaxy, but few evolutionary paths maintain the necessary patterns. Your species has not only maintained but enhanced these patterns. The Coalition knows about this potential," Maya said. "That's why they quarantined Earth. The species you refer to as the Coalition discovered this network long ago, but could not access its functions. They have attempted to suppress any emerging awakened species for millennia. You are not the first they have quarantined, but you are the first to discover your heritage before they could ensure your permanent containment." The implications were chilling. How many other species had been permanently contained before they could reach their potential? "We need to broadcast our discovery," Maya decided. "Show the galaxy what the Coalition has been hiding." "Such an action would have significant consequences," Sentinel warned. "The Coalition maintains control through carefully managed information. A galaxy-wide broadcast would disrupt their power structure." "That's exactly what we want," Hammond said firmly. Elena worked with Sentinel to prepare the broadcast while the others explored the facility. Lucas discovered a database of precursor technological schematics, innovations beyond even Coalition capabilities. Sanjay found medical information suggesting the precursors had intended their awakened descendants to continue their work of fostering galactic biodiversity and knowledge. Their exploration was interrupted by an urgent call from Lucas. "Coalition ships approaching. 6 vessels on an intercept course. They must have detected our energy signature," Hammond cursed. "How long do we have?" 20 minutes maximum," Lucas replied. "They're moving fast." Maya rushed back to the central chamber where Elena was still working with the Sentinel. "We need to hurry," she urged. "Coalition forces are incoming." "The broadcast is ready," Elena replied. "But there's more at stake than just revealing the truth. The precursors left their technology as a gift, tools to advance all life in the galaxy. If we simply expose the Coalition, we risk starting a conflict that could destroy everything." "What do you suggest?" Maya asked. "We don't just tell the galaxy we exist," Elena said with new confidence. "We show them what humanity can offer. Peace, partnership, progress. We activate the network not as a weapon against the Coalition, but as an invitation to all species. The crystalline sphere pulsed with increasing brightness as Alina finalized the preparations. Coalition ships entering Saturn's orbit. Lucas warned over the comm. 10 minutes until they reach our position. Maya looked at her team, then at the glowing form of Sentinel. Proceed, she ordered. Alina placed both hands on the main pedestal, and the sphere erupted with brilliant light. Throughout the facility, systems awakened, responding to her neural commands. The translucent walls surrounding them displayed thousands of locations across the galaxy, where identical facilities were simultaneously activating. Transmission beginning, Sentinel announced. In that moment, on thousands of worlds across the galaxy, dormant precursor facilities awakened. On Coalition core worlds and distant outposts, in ancient ruins and hidden installations, the same message played, not in words but in direct neural impressions that any sentient being could understand regardless of language. From Earth, humanity revealed itself to the stars. They shared not threats but visions of partnership. They demonstrated their unique connection to precursor technology, not as a weapon, but as a bridge between the past and future. And they exposed the Coalition's deception, not with anger, but with an invitation to build something better. As the broadcast concluded, the approaching Coalition vessels suddenly halted their advance. They've stopped, Lucas reported in disbelief. There, hailing us. On the view screen, Ambassador Xylith appeared, his usual composure shattered. Behind him, other Coalition representatives argued frantically. "What have you done?" the ambassador demanded. "We've told the truth," Maya replied simply. "To everyone. You cannot comprehend the consequences." "We understand perfectly," Maya interrupted. "Your Coalition has suppressed emerging species for thousands of years out of fear. That ends today." New signals began flooding in, transmissions from dozens of worlds responding to Earth's broadcast. Many came from Coalition planets where populations were learning for the first time about the suppression of technological development and the existence of the precursor network. "You see," Maya continued, "your people deserve to know the truth as well. Earth isn't declaring war on the Coalition. We're declaring an end to isolation and suppression. The precursors left their legacy for all sentient life, not just for humanity." Before Xylith could respond, another face appeared on the screen. A Coalition species Maya hadn't seen before, with crystalline features and eyes that glowed with inner light. "I am Elder Torvik of the Lumina," the new alien announced. "For centuries, we have hidden our limited compatibility with precursor technology from Coalition authorities. Your broadcast has awakened installations across Lumina worlds that we never knew existed. We would speak with Earth directly, without Coalition interference." More transmissions followed, from the aquatic Mirians, the silicon-based lithoids, and a dozen other species. Each reported varying degrees of compatibility with the newly awakened precursor technology. Each requested direct contact with Earth. The Coalition quarantine was crumbling in real time. Ambassador Xylith's expression shifted from anger to resignation. "The Coalition Council demands a meeting with Earth representatives immediately." "We accept," Maya replied, "but not as a quarantined world. As equals." 3 months later, Maya stood in the newly constructed precursor chamber in Geneva as representatives from 27 worlds, both Coalition and non-Coalition, gathered for the signing of the Galactic Concordat. The agreement would dissolve the old power structure and establish a new interstellar community based on mutual advancement and shared access to precursor technology under careful oversight. President Kwan addressed the assembled delegates, her voice carrying to billions across Earth and beyond. "When we looked to the stars, we hoped to find friends. Instead, we found fear. But today, we move beyond that fear. Humanity's unique connection to the precursor legacy is not a weapon to be wielded, but a responsibility to be shared. Together, we will explore not just the stars, but the full potential of all our species." As the Earth delegation took their positions at the signing table, Alina leaned close to Maya. "The Sentinel showed me something else before we left Saturn," she whispered. "The precursors didn't just disappear. They evolved beyond physical form. They're still out there, watching, waiting to see what their descendants will accomplish." Maya gazed up at the holographic display of the galaxy above them, with its thousands of illuminated points representing activated precursor facilities. Each light a connection, a possibility, a future. "Then let's show them something worth watching," she replied. The quarantine had ended. The declaration had been made, and humanity's journey among the stars had truly begun.